Incoming game over. Warning. Incoming game over.
Alright, welcome everybody. Hope everybody can hear me. It's been a while I've done hosting, so I'm just getting back into things. If you are listening live, welcome aboard. I'm just doing the final posting on all my social media channels. Welcome aboard. Um, have this brand new camera to try out. Let me know how the video quality is like. Thanks to Andrew for hooking up with me for this camera. Uh, Conrad, saying hello from Honolulu Airport. Conrad, hope you have a safe travels home, and we'll hope to see you in Calgary soon. Hope you enjoyed your vacation as well. Hope it was good time spending with your family. Once again, those who are in the chat, welcome aboard. We'll dissect this 3-1 loss against the Detroit Red Wings. Unfortunately, the Flames losing this one. Tokai number one asking, did we make a mistake with the trade? I'll talk about that soon. As our first period will be all about the debut of Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee. Matsy, a very, very disappointing loss. I wouldn't say it's as disappointing, but we can talk about it, of course. Um, and we are going to lose that wildcard spot to Vancouver. They have three Pattersons and no JT Millers. Of course, JT Miller scoring against the Vancouver Canucks on his very first game. We'll talk. That's something to keep an eye out for. Match with only one of the being at the Four Nations. We'll talk about that soon. And flight is delayed 2 hours. So lovely. Yeah, I had that experience of flight being delayed as well, Conrad, on my trip from back to India in August. Little more than 2 hours that one got delayed for like 5 or 6 hours, and then it extended to 7 or 8 while they were solving quote unquote mechanical issues. But keep the chat going. Thanks for spending the evening with us on Game Over Calgary. I'm your host, Anand Unnithan. Before we kickstart things, I'll do a quick ad read here. Shift into hyperdrive hockey and get ready to have some fun with a new source for all the biggest stories in hockey, bringing a unique style of broadcasting and commentary with a Quebecois flavor. Hyperdrive hockey combines top tier analysis, big stories, pop culture, and a damn fun atmosphere that will drive debate, make you think, and more. Join Max Van Hoot, Davin Melabov, and Kevin Lemaire every Monday and Thursday for your fill on the hockey world. Watch on YouTube, on the Game Over Network channel, or subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon. And head to our website at thegameovernetwork.com for more. Alright, welcome to a chilly and snowy Calgary evening. Once again, the Flames dropping this one against the Detroit Red Wings by a score of 3-1. Um, yeah, it was unfortunate. The Flames ran into a hot goaltender. Cam Talbot. We'll talk about more about him in the second period. But here is how the scoring summary went. It was all Detroit Red Wings in the first period. Dylan Larkin opening the scoring, assisted by Fisher and Shine at the 8:27 mark, and then Edvinson assisted by Berggren and Soderblom in at the 1914 mark. So late goal for Detroit Red Wings to capitalize their double lead. Of course, not the way the Flames wanted to end the period, not the way the Flames wanted to play this game. Of course, you understand it's a home game, but unfortunately, the Flames ran into a hot goaltender once again, Cam Talbot. Let's talk about the biggest news, of course, coming from Thursday. I know Matt Demille had a moment to dissect it, but once again, Andrei Kuzmenko and Jacob Pelche traded to Philadelphia Flyers, and they also shipped out a 2025 second round pick and a 2028 seventh round pick to the Philadelphia Flyers, in exchange getting Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee. Let's talk about the pros and cons for getting both of them. You can agree with me in the chat as well. Drop it below, as there are about you 3 or 4 of you joining. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe, and comment as well. Share it with your friends as well. I was able to get it to on a couple of social media platforms. Share it out wide as well if they want to join this conversation as well. But thank you to Tokai, Matsy, and Conrad for hanging out with us at the moment. But Morgan Frost had a decent game. Both of them did. Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost. They came out very well, buzzing in the first 10 minutes. I loved the game to start with. Morgan Frost had an excellent first shift. He won face-offs for us. The face-offs really improved, and that was amazing. And I think that's one of the key takeaways. You can trust Morgan Frost with the face-offs. I think that improved. Um, and then we saw a mix of Frost and Farabee on the power play as well. But I don't think Farabee got the power play time tonight. I think Ryan Husker decided that he will go with between Klapka or the two defensemen with Backlund. Um, so that was quite interesting. We'll see if Farabee gets a power play time tomorrow, because the Flames play as early as tomorrow, believe it or not. The Seattle Kraken, they head on the road. Seattle Kraken, I think they flight tonight. It's a 3-hour flight, so not bad. But we know how that goes. And then probably tomorrow it's going to be Dan Bladder who gets to start between the pipes. And Seattle, of course, rested, the most rested team. At the end, we'll talk about the back-to-back situation here shortly. Carl, I see your question as well. Thoughts on the U.S. national anthem? I'll I'll probably leave that till the end. No hate on you, not skipping it right now, but I feel like it will be a good one for the last period, fourth period. So stay tuned if you can till the end. We'll talk about it a bit in the fourth period over time, but I don't want to dissect it too much. It takes away from the hockey point of view. But I'll talk about it a little since you asked. But I don't think right now is the time to do so at the moment. Going back to the trade once again, Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee. I think they both had quietly an excellent game. Maybe a couple small mistakes here and there, especially on the defensive zone. But I give them what you call the benefit of the doubt. It's their first game as a Calgary Flame. They're still getting adjusted to the system, so I totally understand how they come. But I think they fairly played fairly well. Our face-offs percentage improved. I think coming into this game, he came with 49.5% face-off. He would have improved it to 50 by winning a couple face-offs. So decent look at Morgan Frost there. Joel Farabee was also buzzing with Huberdeau and Kadri. Kadri was one of the best player on the ice. Once again, he drew a penalty leading to the power play goal. We'll talk about that power play goal in just a moment. But Huberto Kadri and Joel Farabee are linking together well, finding that early chemistry, which is, I think, important as we go through things. So we'll see how they do tomorrow. Once again, back to back in Seattle. Of course, maybe Joel Farabee and both Morgan Frost wanted a goal each as well, or maybe get on the point sheet as assists too, but they don't end up making a difference on the score sheet. Let's see what awaits tomorrow. Let's see if we play any different on the back to back. Other thoughts in the game? Once again, like I said, they came buzzing in the first period, and then towards the end, Detroit Red Wings capitalized a couple goals. Dustin Wolf would have liked to have a couple back at least, especially the second one, something unusual that beat him. But that was interesting to see. After that, Dustin Wolf was stellar. It's, I think, just getting used to it again, to a new, stronger team, and we know Detroit Red Wings didn't have is below the standings. They are also looking for the playoff spot, but somehow they were strong tonight. And Cam Talbot, once again, the Flames have run into quite a few goaltenders, hot goaltenders. Dustin Wolf being one of them. That's how teams run into. But Yeah, Dustin Wolf would have liked to have had a couple back. I think that was it. It was mainly between the balance of Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee's debut and Dustin Wolf wanting one back. If there are any no specific topics or concerns you want to talk about in the first period in the chat, let's head into the second period. This time, huge thank you to Patreon, looking for ways to upstart media company, employing over 30 young journalists like me, like Conrad in the chat, and analysts across Canada. If you have few spare bucks kicking around, you can head to our Patreon page at the patreon.com/slash the Game Over Network. There you'll find multiple tiers featuring different rewards and goodies for helping us grow. There is extra access, exclusive looks behind the scenes, and Discord benefits, merch discounts, opportunities to give us feedback, and you can join us for special live shows where you can interact with hosts like you're doing right now as we launch ways to improve your experience. This is all about you. If you're not able to spare a few dollars, don't worry. We have a free tier available as well, so you don't miss out. If you really want to help us, make sure to click and subscribe on YouTube. Rate us 5 stars on your favorite podcast app and share our work on your social media choice. That's patreon.com/slash the Game Over Network for tantalizing goodies. Alright, let's head into the second period as we talk things Calgary Flames and dissecting the 3-1 loss against the Detroit Red Wings. I think I'm gonna talk this about the goaltenders, the two goaltenders that possibly lit the show for their teams respectively. Dustin Wolf, of course, early today, getting named the Rookie of the Month, which will feel fantastic, especially for the month of January. How outstanding has he been? And I think one of the sole reasons that the Calgary Flames are still in a playoff spot. Last check, they're in that wildcard 2 spot, battling tooth and nail with the Vancouver Canucks. And I think Dustin Wolf has been one of the biggest reasons that the Flames continue to be in that playoff spot yet once again. Um, he'll save you out of games. He did that tonight, especially couple robberies, couple key saves, and but the team in front just couldn't solve Cam Talbot. And Cam Talbot, as you know, former Calgary Flame, on the same day 5 years ago, started the goalie fight against Edmonton Oilers, and they went head to head. Um, I was in the Calgary Flames fan back then, but seeing highlights of it must have been unreal. Whether if some of the fans watching right now were in attendance for that one, let me know what has been your experience with Cam Talbot as a Calgary Flame, and then of course getting some good goaltending tonight was Detroit Red Wings and Cam Talbot. Yeah, Dustin Wolf, once again, the hero of the story. Um, in the second period, at least, keeping it a 2-0 game, and no scoring in the second period. That's where things ended at. Um, in the second period, one other funny thing was the octopus story. There was actually two octopuses thrown onto the ice. We'll talk about a little bit that also towards the end. But yeah, second period, nothing to talk about. Mainly just Dustin Wolf, his heroics that has been throughout the season, and that's what's keeping the Flames still in a playoff hunt. Once again, talking about goaltending, I think tomorrow it will be Dan Vlada's turn to hit the pipe. Um, I don't see any other choices. And then coming back home against the Toronto Maple Leafs and Colorado Avalanche, another couple tough teams. I think Dustin Wolf might get a couple starts here as well. We'll see how that goes. Um, I did hear Dan Blatter has played decently well. I think like a 5-1-1 record against Seattle Kraken. So hopefully he gets that start. And yeah, Once again, this will be short segments as we don't have much to say because it's that way that the scoring went this period, especially 2 nothing. Both teams were balanced 50-50. Joel Farabee was winning some face-offs. Morgan Frost were winning face-offs. Joel Farabee was on the wing with Huberdo and Kadri. They made some excellent moves, but apart from that, the second period was a stalemate. Nobody scored. Detroit Red Wings kept the score 2 nothing, and no scoring update on that one. All right, let's head into the third period where we talk about the Seattle back to back coming up tomorrow, what we have seen from the Flames so far, and then we'll get to your questions and topics in the chat. So hit them right now. Type them away as we go through. In the third period, there was one goal from the Calgary Flames and a second one for the Detroit. Their third goal of the game for the Detroit Red Wings. But if you're enjoying this show hosted by me so far, you probably want more of this, right? Well, make sure you hit the like button on this video, click subscribe on our channel, and make sure you check the notification bell so you have alerted whenever we go live. And if you're listening to our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating or even write a positive review. If you really like us, make sure to follow us on your favorite social media platforms. You can find the Game Over Network on Blue Sky at thegameovernetwork.com, on TikTok and Twitter at the Game Over NHL, on Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn at thegameovernetwork.com. You can also follow me on CJY underscore Anand. Little self plug there. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn as well, and you can also find us at thegameovernetwork.com where you can sign up for our upcoming newsletter. All right, let's talk about the third period. So the Flames in a tough situation yet once again tomorrow, heading into Seattle to take on the back-to-back. There are few of the many back-to-backs this season. I think that has been a common theme, but they have had at least now 3 games on homestand. They've gone 1-2-0, winning against the Anaheim Ducks, losing 3-1 against the Washington Capitals, and losing tonight against the Detroit Red Wings. So the homestand will get a pause. They'll get a break on the homestand. They head back to road tomorrow. Take on the Seattle Kraken. Once again, we know Seattle Kraken have decent goaltending pairs. Joy Decord and Grubauer. On the hockey app, it says Joy Decord is expected to start, and Dan Vladar for the Calgary Flames. So we'll see how that goes. We know it has trended that way. There is no chance Dustin Wolf might get in tomorrow. It will be Dan Vladar himself doing the work. Um, yeah, so Dan Vladar starts tomorrow. Probably it will be Joey Decord who is taking a part on this one as well. And yeah, so Joey Decord, Dan Vladar, and then Seattle on a back to back. I would keep the lines the same, considering how they played decent tonight. I don't know if it's time for Mirmanov to come back tomorrow. Maybe they'll do that to get some fresh legs. I didn't love Jake Bean's game as much as tonight. Tyson Barry was decent. He kept a couple of pucks in at the blue line. But Jake Bean, he has dropped off a little lately, and we are seeing the drop off of Kevin Ball as well. He hasn't been as outstanding. I mean, Kevin Ball, without his presence, the Flames haven't been as outstanding. Of course, nobody can be a Kevin Ball on the team, standing tall and defensively. Um, Kevin Rooney, he was the other scratch this evening. I don't know if he'll come back. It's I think I would just say keep the lines the same, and then when they come back, of course, there is no need of Kevin Rooney at the moment, especially there is Clark Bishop. Morgan Frost is the new center they acquired, and then there is Nazim Kadri and Backlund. So I don't see a potential situation for Rooney coming back anytime soon. Um, so I think I would keep the line same as we head into Seattle tomorrow, and then seeing how they do on the back to back. We'll see if there is any. So good news. We'll talk about couple good news and light news as we go through this program. Connor Zari, he's expected to start skating next week. Again, um, nothing to like his return to the lineup isn't confirmed or how soon, but I believe he's gonna start skating next week. That could be probably as early as Monday, so that's a huge good news on that front. Justin Kirkland and Dustin Wolf is gonna be on what do you call, if you're listening this live, of course, Dustin Wolf and Justin Kirkland will be on After Hours with just Scott Oak on Sportsnet. So go check out that later as well. Let's see. Tokai Namaraz one is asking, are the Flames serious about signing Rantanen? I have seen this post on Instagram. I don't know how true it's gonna be. But at the end, I have heard talks that it is possible that he won't end up even signing here. Um, we'll see how that transpires, but I haven't heard anything solidified. But something that I heard solidified is from Elliot Friedman during the panel on Sportsnet Hockey Day in Canada is that Rasmus Anderson, Nazim Kadri, and who else? The other one, I think. Why am I blanking out now? I had let's see. Oh yeah, Mackenzie Weegar. Those three teams have called about them, but they are not willing to trade. So Rasmus Anderson, Mackenzie Weegar, and Nazim Kadri not available right now to be traded. At least from what Elliot Friedman has reported on the Sports Hockey Day in Canada panel. That's because, of course, we know the Flames are right now in a playoff spot, hunt for a playoff spot. I mean, hunt in a playoff spot. They hold the wild card spot too. We'll see if that changes with the Vancouver. When do the Vancouver Canucks play next? The Vancouver Canucks next play tomorrow against the same Detroit Red Wings. Of course, the Detroit Red Wings will be kind of tired. They're on a five game winning streak. So we'll see how that changes. But no Tokai number one. I don't think Rantanen will sign here, or at least the Flames might get him to sign, but I don't know if he'll sign. We'll keep an eye out for that as well. I've seen it rumored around Instagram, but at the end, I don't know if he will sign here or not. Let's do a quick look ahead of the schedule, and then we'll quickly hit the chat and then close it, wrap it up. Thanks for spending the evening with us. Conrad, if you are still around, hope you have a safe flight home. It's nasty in Calgary, Bills. You're coming into snow and cold, so hopefully you have a jacket handy as well. But let's get through the look ahead schedule for your Calgary Flames so that I was planning to have an out of town guest as well tonight, but that didn't fall through. Of course, in the US, it's like 1 a.m. already, and many people weren't available for the late night ones. But we'll see who we can get on the next program onwards. So, tomorrow, Ruby will be back hosting with Matt DeMille. They'll have the post game show for the Seattle Kraken game. Conrad will be back on your feeds on Tuesday, February 4th, and that's if Conrad is not jet lagged. It will be a crossover with the Maple Leafs, and then I'll be back on Thursday when they take on the Avalanche, and I'll have guests as well. And then after that on Saturday, the Seattle Kraken yet once again. That will be probably a home game for your Calgary Flames. So that's how. So we'll see Kraken twice again. and then we'll see the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Avalanche in between. And then it's a whole 2 weeks break for your Game Over Calgary crew and the Flames crew as they head on a Four Nations face-off break. All right, time for overtime. Time for your questions. Let's hit them right away. Once again, if you're typing, type them away. We'll entertain them till I'm here. So, what a better way to support something you love than by wrapping it yourself? Game Over's apparel line has dropped with 3 unique lines. So you can check this QR code right here. Whether you feel nostalgic or want to pull a retro skater design or the established design or the love for goalies, you can get the designs. I'll show you them in just a moment here. You can get it by design by Brady Charles from Game Over Winnipeg. Use the QR code on stream now and take a look through our apparel store and help rebuild local sports media in Canada while repping your community. All right, this is the cup I was talking about, and then this is the t-shirt as well. You can also ask me questions about my Sportsnet 960 practicum. That was a fun 4 weeks. If you have any questions about that as well, but let's hit from the top of the chat. Conrad says hello from the Honolulu airport. We covered that. Tokai number one, did we make a mistake with that trade? We'll see how it transpires. Of course, losing Kuzmenko and Pelche was little difficult. As you know, both vibe guys. But I'm curious to see how the face-offs improve, how Joel Farabee can be an important playmaker in this team. Okay, I'm gonna hit this though, now that I remember. Good segue. I talked to Jamie Baskow. Kudos to Jamie Baskow. His official title is Philadelphia Flyers or Phantoms writers for flyersnittigritty.com. He's a credentialist sports journalist for Flyers Nitty Gritty. They're a media outlet who write for the Philadelphia Flyers. So I talked to him over social media, asking him about Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee. I asked him to invite us a guest, but no worries, Jamie, that you couldn't make it. Let's see, he talked about Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost will be a great additions to the locker room. Really hope they'll both kill it with scenery. Jamie has talked to both Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost. They have been both classy to him. And one thing a lot of people forget about Joel Farabee is that when Claude Giroux got traded to the Panthers, Giroux told Farabee that he was captain material. So we'll keep an eye out for Farabee. And Jamie saying Giroux hasn't really spoke about any other player like that. So we'll see how Farabee transpires. Of course, first game, benefit of the doubt. We'll see how the trade transpires. And of course, Jamie believes that both Farabee and Frost will do great in Calgary. All right, Matt C saying a very, very disappointing loss. Like you said, they ran into a hot goaltender. The Flames have commonly done that this year, and it's one of those games. Hoping for a better result tomorrow against back to back. But again, Dan Vlada put in one of the tough situations yet once again. We are going to lose the wildcard spot to Vancouver. They have 3 Pattersons and no JT Millers. Yeah, of course, if you heard, another blockbuster trade right after the Flames made one. JT Miller to the New York Rangers. Then they got Marcus Patterson. So they have 2 Elias Pattersons and Marcus Patterson in the Vancouver Canucks. Conrad agreeing with me. I don't think so, Tokai, but I think there will be more time to mesh with only one member of the Flames being at the Four Nations, of course. That's Rasmus Anderson. We are still waiting to see if Mackenzie Weegar will get a call up to the Four Nations. What else? Yeah, I'll hit Carl's point here real quick. Thoughts on the national anthem being booed. I think it's related to the US tariffs coming. Once again, don't want to go deep into politics because this is not political show, but I think that's the reason. And about the whole drama that Canada should be an US state. I think that's just my basic thoughts. Um, and I think the Ottawa Senators also booed the US national anthem. I thought Calgary wouldn't, but somehow they ended up doing that. And then Tokai number one hitting at the end. Other Flame series about Rantanen. From what I've heard, I've seen multiple different Instagram posts. Um, so not really, no. But we'll see how that transcribes. All right, I think that will do it. Thanks for spending the evening with us. If you have no other final queries, questions, or concerns, once again the Flames dropped this one against the against the Detroit Red Wings by a score of 3-1, and they'll take on the Seattle Kraken tomorrow when Ruby and Matt will dissect that game for you. Have a good night. Take it easy. Thanks for spending the time with us, and I'll see you back on Thursday against the Colorado Avalanche. Good night.